This is Arkies in the Beltway, a look at national politics and the Arkansans influencing the discussions. I'm Alex Thomas, Washington correspondent for the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette, reporting from the nation's capital. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Arkies in the Beltway for the week of January 14th, 2024. We are back with the first episode of the year and a full one at that. Lawmakers returned to Capitol Hill last week, but they were already making headlines before arriving in Washington, D.C. House Speaker Mike Johnson leading a coalition of around 60 House Republicans to the southern border to start the new year, as Congressional Republicans continue pressing the Biden administration for stricter border policies amid rising encounter numbers. Representatives for Crawford and French Hill, part of that group. Crawford of Jonesboro spent the trip paired with a National Guard soldier to observe operational procedures related to border security.
What I learned is it's as bad as it looks on TV in terms of, as much as anything, that just the inundation of people, and operationally they're behind the eight ball.
President Joe Biden has stated he is willing to make policy concessions following the administration's support of a $110 billion security package, which includes military aid for Ukraine and Israel. Hill says money is not the issue. The congressman from Little Rock points out the House passed a sweeping immigration package last May with tougher asylum guidelines and stronger punishments for entering the U.S. illegally.
This is at this moment less about financial resources than it is policy direction.
Negotiations between the Biden administration and the Senate have been ongoing since before the holiday break. A legislative framework has yet to come together. Hill getting a commitment from the head of the Department of Housing and Urban Development regarding housing issues in Little Rock, Secretary Marcia Fudge promising to remain resilient in addressing problems within the Little Rock Housing Authority. HUD issued a scathing report last September detailing issues with the body, including nearly $30 million in questionable and potentially disallowed costs. Hill asked Fudge about the matter last Thursday during a House Financial Services Committee hearing.
May I ask you for your personal commitment that HUD will take responsibility for this catastrophic situation and commit to resolving these longstanding issues at the Little Rock Public Housing Authority?
Without question.
The Little Rock Housing Authority has been the subject of HUD scrutiny in recent years. Federal officials called for corrective actions in December 2015 following a financial management review. That evaluation closed in October 2018 with a promise of a follow-up, but the coronavirus pandemic delayed reviews. Senator Tom Cotton among the lawmakers wanting answers surrounding Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin's recent hospitalization. Cotton and other Republican members of the Senate Armed Services Committee sending a letter to Austin seeking more information regarding the secrecy surrounding Austin's treatment for prostate cancer. Austin received surgery on December 22nd. He was readmitted on January 1st for medical complications related to that procedure. The senators described the issue as an apparent breakdown in communication, in which the president, top White House officials, and Congress were left unaware of Austin's medical situation. Austin has taken full responsibility, but Cotton and other senators say that statement is insufficient given the national security concerns with Austin's position. Cotton and Senator John Boozman honoring the Harding University football team. Arkansas senators introducing a resolution last week commending the Bisons for their Division II national championship and perfect record. Boozman of Rogers understands the challenges facing collegiate athletes, given his experience as a member of the University of Arkansas football team.
Those of us who have ever played football or followed along as fans are familiar with the term that describes each team's time with the ball as they move down the field: drive. But drive is also what you need to finish a perfect season. The Harding Bisons exemplified it and racked up major achievements along the way, including breaking the collegiate rushing record with more than 6,000 yards on the ground for the season.
Cotton of Little Rock also celebrating Harding's first national championship on the Senate floor last Tuesday.
The Harding Bisons should be proud of their many accomplishments. The state of Arkansas certainly is.
Another senator extending his congratulations, Alabama Republican Tommy Tuberville. The Camden, Arkansas native and former college football coach addressed the Senate immediately after Boozman and Cotton and began his remarks by making reference to the Harding Bisons. A busy week ahead, and not just on Capitol Hill. The Iowa caucuses will take place Monday. Former President Donald Trump remains the frontrunner for the Republican presidential nomination. Former Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson still active on the campaign trail. He has been taking part in a return to normal tour across the Hawkeye state in hopes of building support. Hutchinson has been billing himself as an alternative to Trump, given the former president's ongoing support for false claims regarding the outcome of the 2020 presidential election and the January 6th insurrection at the U.S. Capitol. Back in Washington, lawmakers need to pass a spending plan by Friday to avoid a government shutdown. Speaker Johnson dealing with a faction of Republican colleagues upset over a bipartisan spending deal with Democratic leadership. And that'll do it for this edition of Arkies in the Beltway for the week of January 14th, 2024. You can stay up to date with all news involving Arkansas at arkansasonline.com. You can get in touch with me on social media. My handle is @AlexHouseThomas. I'm Alex Thomas, and this has been Arkies in the Beltway. Thanks for listening.